Alright guys, I don't know if you saw it or not, a few days ago I did a video taking a pipe wrench jaw and turning it into a knife. When I started that project I was really trying to do, hoping to turn that into a cleaver. I'd never done a cleaver, and I think that's what we're going to try to do today. I'm a little bit, I'm not extremely optimistic, but we're going to give it a try. What I'd like to do is try to do it out of a piece of cable, where the cable ends up being the handle too. Well, I mean, this is Chandler, right? So we're just going to go through some forge welding of this cable until I get to a point where I have a handle left over that I'm kind of okay with, and then I think stack those up and try to draw that out into a cleaver. I think it sounds silly, but it'd be a good exercise in cable welding for sure, and who knows, it just might work. So let me get this cleaned up, we'll get going. Alright, so like I normally do, I got this thing heated up and I like to just whack the thing on the anvil just to get the smuts out of it. Just to get the smuts out of it. Probably wouldn't hurt to throw a little flux on there right now before I tighten her down. That first section of weld anyway, we'll heat her up and give her a good twist. Tighten her up and give her a good twist. Now we got a decent amount of heat on her, so let's bring her over to the vise. Again, we're just trying to tighten that whole section as tight as we can, so we have less air and crap to worry about in the forge valve. Crank that sucker right up. Something like that. That sucks. Give her a good brush and pour. And then we'll give her another coat of flux. We get. It's going to be the first forge weld in the new shop, I think. Well, I think. And the fire will go. Just bring her up to temp. Nice and slow, because those outside strands are going to get hotter than the inside strands. Although after the heat that we just done, we should be pretty close right now. Alright. Flux says, the flux giving me an indication that we're up to temp. I'm not seeing any fireflies yet, but I think we're okay. I use John Norwood's 2.5 pound hammer just to go down through a few inches of this thing. Top side up. Brush that sucker off. Sure how good of a weld we got, but we got something. Heat her back up again. I'm going to retighten. I'm going to clamp my weld, so I'm not stressing that any. Retighten that section above it. Flux down the first part, let's go in again. Alright, let's keep that temperature. Yep, looks good, looks good. Oh, too much temperature. Yeah. Everybody happy? Sacrifice on the end. Now we'll go ahead and start working up this ladder a little bit. How to do? We'll get this next section. First, from here back looks good. We're not going to hammer out there again, so I think we'll be alright. This next section going. Alright, we'll be a little more gentle this time. Back to the 2.5 pounder. Get up to temperature. See what we got here. Good enough. There anyway. Just got a decent weld now. Get her back in the heat. Alright, we'll go again with a 2.5 pounder. How are we doing today? Let's see about grabbing this next section here. Hopefully we're doing an okay job. I hope so. I hope so anyway. I'm not totally confident in the welds, but we'll see what's going on. There's another couple of inches of them anyway. Steel cable, what do you expect? Back in. Alright, we'll go for the second weld on this next section. Hopefully everybody's happy. Alright, I'm running out of handle here a little bit. I'm wondering if I should stop there and just grab another piece of cable or just keep going with it. And I suppose if I keep going, I can end up with the handle on this end. So we can go back and see what we ended up with. I'm not sure. I see, there's a lot that I don't like the looks of, but we'll see what happens. Oh, Can I get one more section out of this without burning myself? I think so. We're going to go for one more section here. We'll clean her up, heat her up, flux her up. See what we end up with. Just enough room for the next. Alright, so we get on this last section. this weld anyway. Let's go in one more time. The other ones I can still see details from the cable on the outside. It's scaring me a little. But we'll figure it out. Alright, let's finish this section up here. I think we're ready. Now is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tighten that curl up a little. I'm going to let this thing cool down. I'm going to flip around, grab a weld or two off the other side. I'm going to want, if this works, I'm going to want the end of that handle welded up anyway. And that'll give me a weld on both ends. If it works. So I'll let this cool down for a while. Like I said, I'm not overly excited about what I'm looking at for some of it. I'm really worried about a lot of inclusions down on this end, but we'll jump off that bridge when we get to it. Let me let her cool down. Alright, this thing's cooled down enough to handle. I actually reproduced almost the same thing, maybe a little farther. Hoping to get some little paring knives or something out of it. Or if this fails, I can go ahead and use that one because it seemed to weld a lot better than this one did. You can actually see, yeah, like this is no good. But we'll see what happens once we get it ground down. So I'm going to, again, my objective is to flip it around, forge weld just enough to get one more section and close off the end of that handle. That's the plan. Alright, same routine as before. Get her heated up, get her de-squished. Uh-oh, well, didn't hold very well. And a couple of strands. Get some flux in there, get it tightened down. Now, one thing that I did with the last cable is on that first weld, I tried welding it round. I've done that before, and it's been so long I've forgotten what the results were, but I really like the results of that better, rather than trying to square off something that's loose to begin with, you know what I mean? So we're going to do that again. Plus, the first weld, let's see. The first weld, I just did the end. First inch or so I didn't have that thing flying away. I'm going to heat this up. I got a little bit of stuff that just isn't together. Get it backed in tight, and then we'll go in for that weld. Just on the end there though first. So again, what I'm going to do first here is just close these loose strands up. Actually, I'll tighten the whole thing down with the hammer. More solid down there. We'll hope we get enough heat. So it won't hurt to clean it off. Shouldn't be much on it right now, but flux. Put a little more flux on it. See that in. Back in the fire. Going for forge welding heat for the first couple inches. Again, all I'm trying to do right now is forge weld that end up. Pull around like that to do it. Just like that, nothing tricky. But that seems to help that end blowing out on. Well, it seemed on the last one to help that end from blowing out on. Just tighten these things. Time. Brush your fluxer and get it back in there. I'm still going to just work on that first little bit though. It's one day today. Son of a beach. That's 412 on the 93 day. One more time on that end. Tighten this stuff back up for the next weld. Flush it up. I think we might have to go one more weld after this section, maybe. Yeah, for sure. Back in the heat for the real weld. We're done. Alright, we got good heat here. Out now. Just trying to roll it as I weld it. Okay, and it started from here out. I didn't do that last time. I thought I'd give it a try. Just trying to get that stuff tucked in as best as possible. Whew. Go back in. What I did last time is went around and then I squared it off on the second weld. Did the whole thing with a 2-pounder. I don't know, let's see. Alright, let's go in for that second weld. Not exactly happy with it. See what we end up with here. Just get off so she won't work against this as much as she can. It's getting close to the handle. Control. Alright, so we brushed her, let's brush her again. And I'm not happy. Wish I was happy. Let's hope this last weld sticks. Anything that may not be. I think I just bit off too much. Camera too long. I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out pretty soon. I'm gonna go back in, basically a redo on that second weld. Hope to get the stuff I didn't get before. Normally I don't take that extra heat, but I didn't like what I was seeing, so I took the time to do that. It looks much better, but at this point, either it is or it isn't. And it don't matter what you think it looks like. It is what it is. Let's go for that final weld and we'll see what we end up with. Whew. Alright, go with the 3-pounder right now. Just hope to set that sucker. What it is. Now I got a bit of a banana in a couple of directions on this end, so I'm just going to spin it around and just straighten that out before I clean it up and cut it, because I I want those to mate up as close as I can. So I didn't want to leave that curve in there, so we'll take that out. Like I said, we're just going to try to take that little wonka out of there so that when I go to mate these pieces, they'll mate up a little better than if I left that in. We need all the luck we can get. Alright, I'm going to let that sucker cool down. We'll do some cutting here soon. Alright, well here's my plan. I cut the tail off, ended up with 3 pieces that I welded together. This piece is still forge welded, so I can do something out there if I need to. Again, we're just trying something. I typically don't have a lot of luck stacking such narrow material this thick with my hammer. If I had a hydraulic press, I think I'd be much more optimistic about it. But we're going to go ahead and give this a try once the fire comes back. Heat this up, get some flux in there, get everything tight. You can kind of see through some spots in there. Get everything closed up tight, flux it up, and we'll see if we can get a weld on it. Like I said, it's an awful lot to do with a hammer. At least I don't know how to do it well, especially when it's that narrow. Because one oblique hit and things roll and twist and slide, and it's kind of crazy. But that's the plan anyway. If we get a weld out of this, I should be able to hopefully not have to cut it and fold it again. I should be able to draw that out into a cleaver. That's the plan. While I was waiting, I decided to put a handle on this, so I got a little bit more to hold on to, because I really don't want to mess with tongs if I don't have to. And that forward way scares me. Before she gets too hot to start building up some scale in there, which is pretty damn close to that, I'm going to just get some flux down in there, in between these cracks. Get a little bit of coating in there. Heat her up, and like I said, I'll just gently bring all those voids together. And then we'll go for the weld. Alright, let's see about closing this thing up now. Don't know what size hammer I want to use for the weld. Get this thing kind of forced straight. If I go to hit it, I can hit it firmly. I'm going to try, although it just doesn't seem right to me. Because I got so much steel I have to transfer an impact through. But I'm going to try the 2-pounder nice and gentle and see if I can get that sucker to do what it needs to do. Let's just hope it works that way. It would be really nice if it did. Now just bring up the forge welding heat. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. Got a lot of time into this project already. Ooh, let's hope. Alright, changed my mind. I went to the 4-pounder. I'm going to try to do some, not a lot, but some heavy hits to get that thing down through there. That's it. I'm not going to go any farther than that. Flux it up here again. I just know I got to have that pressure in the middle there. Just know it. Of course, yes. That's what we're going for. Let's do her one more like that. That's too crazy. Let's go again. Who knows? Alrighty, I'm gonna just go ahead. We'll do one more time that way. Let me flex it. One more time that way, and then I'll see about smoothing out some of these rolls that are occurring on the outside here. And then we'll see what we got. Gosh, I hope that's working. Okay, we're going to go through. I'm just going to use a 2-pounder quick and fast, hopefully to side of the weld, but I don't want to grind all that material off. I gotta grind those lines down though. Right. We're gonna go ahead and hit this with a grinder to get these lines of separation out of there, and then we'll clean this. Where am I? This part here up. All right, and maybe take the end off. And we'll see what we got. All right, so here we have it. Ground her down. You know, you just don't know. Now what I need to do now is draw it this way, which is just a total strain on those goddamn welds. So who knows what's gonna happen, but we got that far anyway. They look good, but at this point you really can't see. They could just be kind of kissing each other and still look good. Let's give her a go. Alright, we're good now. We're going to force it pretty darn hot. I'm going to use that rounder, that 3-pound rounder, or a dog leg rather. I really don't want to stretch it out very much, but I don't trust just hitting it with it. I don't trust just hitting it with a cross piece going in the direction of those welds. So let's just work it that way and see what we end up with. Alright. Keep going until you're done, or we're not. Scary, scary, scary stuff. Let's do a little more work. See if she stays together still. Scary, scary. Alright, we'll go ahead and take a chance with this aggressive pull. See if we can get this pulling out in the direction that I want. Work those fullers out. 3-pound. I see one problem right here. Alright, right where that top fold, first fold meets the handle is starting to crack on me. I'm gonna hit that with a welder. I know that's cheating, but we're too far along to take a chance. Alright, now instead of working the whole piece now, I'm just gonna start working the edge and then back. Piece work well when you have a thicker piece. I'm just gonna kind of like a beveling, but I'm really not trying to. Just drawing it out. Starting with the edge. All right, thin that up, and then I'll come back, step and a step like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and work up a little bit more. Splitting on the end. Right here is a split on the end. I'm going to skip up. We'll work the spine a little and then see if I can get that either cut off or welded up. I hate to see this thing go up in smoke, so much work in, but that's kind of, I hate that kind of weld. It is because it ain't right. Let's see if I can get that spine to catch up now. Deal with that end. I might just run a weld right down to hold it out together. Way too much length. Way too much length. Damn it, the hell. For a cleaver. Alright, so I just ran a weld down the end so it wouldn't split out anymore. If it's going to, well, if it starts, it's going to. Rip like paper. It'll help prevent that from happening, I hope. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna try pulling it out in width now. It's just getting too darn long. Thing to be is cut it and fold it, I think. I don't know. Alright, let's see what we can do. Use that cross peen on a 4-pounder. See if we can get that drawn out a little bit more. I'm doing a lot of work here. Sure, I'm doing a lot of work here. About as far as we're going to get, unfortunately. Let me clean up this, straighten it up a little. Shit. Got more length than I wanted, but we'll nip that off. Maybe that'll make it look better. Fire's giving me a little grief, but she's coming around again. I don't have my glasses on, I can't see a thing that I'm doing. Just trying to straighten her out a little bit, clean her up a little. I got a lot of meat back here I want to pull out. Let's see what we got with glasses on here. I could take 2 inches from here and move it back here, but I'll tell you, I wish I could. Come on now, stop. Let me split away, split away. this point, just going to try to pull it as much as you can. Don't have a lot of thickness left. Get whatever we can out of it. Got a little more room to play there. It is what it is. See what we can do with it. Body's shutting down. Can't even hold the thing. Alright, I ain't gonna get much more out of it, I'll tell you that. A couple more times through, clean her up, call it a day. Clean her up. For some reason this spot here isn't pulled out as far as I want it to be. Alrighty. Just making this thing look like something back here. I want that curve a little. Seems like I don't go anywhere. Pulling this thing out of the fire, but I ain't going anywhere. I get it. But let's just go a little bit more here. Let's clean it up. Let's just give her a good hammer clean. Alright, one more time trying to get some shape on here that I like. I just don't like how it's looking, you know what I mean? That's better. just go put a little bit more bevel on it, I guess. You can see this project yet. It'll be a different kind of knife. Let's still put a little bevel on it. More like a square chef's knife than a cleaver. We certainly tried. Certainly try. Let's do that one more time. Alright, let's hope this is the end of the blade. Let's just hope that's the end of the blade work. Curve where we want, get her straightened up. How many times do I say we're done? Say we're done. Don't know. Now, let's straighten her up by working the spine. You don't want it to look like a chef's knife. That's thick. Whatever it is, I'm not going to be happy with it anyway. I can tell you that much right now. That much I already know. Okay, let's get her straight. Now about 96 to 100 in the shop most of the day. And I think I stopped sweating about half an hour ago, so I'm ready. I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking water. Probably should be drinking water. I don't know what you're bitching about, Chandler. This freaking thing didn't fall apart. I can't hold it with its round handle. A little sucker. Alright, that's good. How about here? We have to heater. I wish that were thicker. Maybe I'll heat that sucker and just widen that a little bit. But it's going to make it longer too, and I don't want that. Nah, we'll leave it like that. Alright, I'm going to heat this handle now and get her tightened back up so she doesn't have as much spring. And then nip this end off. That's the next thing. Alright, let's see what we can do about getting this handle tightened up. Hopefully give it the shape that I want it to have. Right about there. Hook into her right about there. Get her nice and tight without breaking anything. And then put the curve in that. Alright. Something like that. Get her straight. Kind of goofy with cable. Just a bit of a twist. And there you have it. Looks good. Hope that'll stiffen it up a little bit. We didn't break too many wires. That's the problem. If you break the wire, then you got some pretty sharp things to deal with. See, 1 or 2 already. Sucks. But we'll deal with it. Ain't always winners, are they? Alright, so just a bit of a curve back there. I'm going to nip this back end off. Right about there. Just forge that into something comfortable. We'll check for our straightness again. Make sure everybody's happy. I wish I hadn't broken a couple of those tines, but I did. Alright, let me get it cut off. We'll get it flipped around. Now, I'm going to get anything special here. Just round this off. Pretty clean it up with the grinder once we get to it. I've got enough time in this thing. It ain't what I wanted it to be. Should drag it out and put a little hook on is what I should do, but that's it. That's what we're gonna do. Ain't gonna do no more, no more. That's it. I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and normalize that blade 3 times. Quick 3 times to black like I normally do. That went through a heck of a lot of work, and then we'll let her cool. We'll start grinding. Today or tomorrow, we'll see. All right, we got it ground up. Just kind of just to help it look like something. I don't know what it is. The handle's too long. It's handle heavy. I don't know. Whatever. It's a project. I'm shocked that it's actually stayed together. So hopefully we'll get a decent pattern out of the thing. I'm using a concave grind. You guys probably don't even know. Before I got kicked out of the other shop, I had bought I think it's a 10 or 12 inch wheel. So I decided, since this thing's just kind of a play around project anyway, a nice concave grind on that would make it pretty sharp and heavy at the same time. I don't know. We're going to give it a go. Let's heat treat this. We're going to go in oil on this one, and I'll get it in the fire. All right, we got her about up. Well, we got her up to 34. Nothing to be with about. Put that in there, sucker in the oil, and hope we end up okay. Looks good. She's a heavy blade anyway. She's a heavy blade anyway, that's for sure. I don't know if I like the sound of that. I'm gonna go again on this one. I don't like the sound of that at all. Maybe I pulled her out for too long. Right, let's try this sucker again with just the edge ready. See if that changes things at all. See if that changes things at all. There we go. Now we'd be happy. Alrighty. We'll get her cooled down or cleaned up, and we'll put a temper on her. And we'll finish grinding her up. Alright, so there's my variable temper. Nice and dark on the spine. Again, if you haven't seen my videos, I clamped this into a vise for a heat sink, and then use a torch on the spine. Try to get golden down to the edge, blue on the spine. And that's what I typically do. All right, let me clean this thing up, give it a final grind, and we'll come back and see what the thing looks like. I'm not totally happy with it, but hey, it was a project and it is kind of cool. It stayed together so far. All right, so I got almost the final edge on there. I doing a freehand. Now I don't have a very straight edge here using that 10-inch wheel. So it's too bad. It's sharper than sharp right now, and that's just at 300. But I don't want to put the final edge on until after I etch it. That's the whole point of this project, is to see what the heck this thing looks like after it's etched. So we're going to do that right now. Holy cow, this has been a long project. I think I started at noon, and it's 5:42 right now, and I'm not happy with, well, it's nothing great. That's the problem. I doubt this thing will fit entirely into my etch, so we're going to have to mess around with that. But let's just see what we get. Oh man, just a little bit. Maybe if I just add a little bit of water to that. I know you add acid to water, not water to acid. But today we're going to use water to acid. Hopefully she looks good. Holy crap, oh, this. It's going to be beautiful. I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, she's been in there for a few minutes. She looks great. Always looks better wet. Alright. Those vertical stripes must be my grind marks. But let's go ahead and let's get her neutralized. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to etch that, just that little tip on the end there to see what that looks like. And when that's done, I'll come back, I'll put the edge on it and I'll come back and finish this video. Holy cow. Tough project. Well, there you have it. Hopefully you can see that pattern in there. I can't see what you can see. I can't tell which lighting is better for you. But you definitely have... I can't tell. Damn it. Let's try it right here. There you go. A couple of those verticals, those vertical stripes are from grinding, but you can see the three different cable patterns in there, 3 different layers, and they didn't fall apart totally on me. And the blade looks solid. I can't remember ever being quite so tired after a project. It's been hot today though. Alrighty, so my normal sharpening thing. A little thick, you know. So but with that concave grind, especially once I get it down pat. The problem that I have is, yeah, she's there. Is I don't know if you can tell, but that edge isn't perfectly straight. It's horrible, but it's all right. I like it. I hope you can see it. Ooh, there's a good shot of it right there. And there you have it. A cleaverish looking something. Don't slam me, by the way. I know how to make, I don't know how to make a cleaver, but I know how to make a cleaver. I'm trying to just draw stuff out with these last couple of projects. But it's definitely some dangerous piece of equipment. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I hope you can see the pattern. And that's I think the first time I've ever really had success sticking that narrow of a material on a forged weld. But there you go. Long version, short version, I don't know what's coming out. Hey, thanks for all your support. And we're still trying. Some days are harder than others, but we're still trying. Hey guys, take care. Appreciate it. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support as always.